share more than emojis. With ChitChat, sending USD is as simple as messaging. Anywhere, anytime. Get a virtual card and USD wallet and send money directly in your chats. Join the thousands of people taking control of their money and start chatting and transacting today. ChitChat. Download now.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh wow.
From these guys.
Yeah.
It's not a core. I want to top.
Before you know it, somebody's got some AI tool that can give you a 360 view of whatever the camera picks up.
Come on, dude.
I mean, you saw the CEO and the HR lady and the AI videos that are coming out now in relation to that. Yes.
No, they can do all sorts of things on that.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing is impossible nowadays with AI. That's why they've just signed some new laws about copyright, which I was so happy about. I said, that's good. So YouTube is not paying any AI-generated content anymore. Yeah, they've demonetized it. As long as it's AI-generated and it's not generated by the owners,
Right.
it's demonetized.
Yeah, because I've seen...
Because you know what they've been doing, right? Like, they've been doing anything, like maybe I'll take your image, make you say certain words and then generate, and then...
Yeah,
then that goes...
Spreading falsehoods.
Yeah, whatever.
Things like that.
Yeah, the whole deep fake. And so now what they've done is essentially anything AI not generated by the owner of the image. So now even your look is now technically copyrighted.
You know,
I think that's good.
God, what I tried doing last week with which episode did you have last week? Oh, those me, Stu, links at some point. So when we're doing the upload, Stu, when we're doing the upload for YouTube, it asks you to put a thumbnail that when people are scrolling through YouTube, that's the first thing they see about your video. Correct. Yes, a thumbnail. So I figured, let me not send the images to a graphics guy. Let me upload on ChatGPT, AI tools and whatever. Upload our photos and have AI generate a thumbnail for us.
Correct.
Tell me why this thing changes our faces.
It does.
Completely changed our faces. Wow. Like, it was not us. Completely not us. Elson looked a bit like Stenzo, the reggae artist.
Yes. So that was like a no. Huh? So you just had to...
I just said, you know what, we'll just get an image.
And that's
from the
the
episode.
reason. So it's like it assumes that there'll be copyright issues, especially on YouTube. Because that's what they're doing now. So they are literally saying, they just signed it like 2 weeks ago. I got the notification.
So that AI then generally will pick faces that do not exist?
They don't exist, yeah. It'll create, for lack of a better word, generic faces.
Yeah, but I mean, somehow it should know from our channel that our faces are there every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, but if you tell it, can you create in our image, it will do that. But that's a paid version.
It kept making other faces.
No.
Yeah.
You need to get the paid.
Made Elson look like a car thief in Jawbreak. You know what I mean? I need to show you that thing. I think I saved it somewhere.
No, we need to get that. But it's either way.
Yeah. Either way, another great episode of That's That podcast, and I'm sure you have seen in a hurry that Elson is not here this week. The boy had to travel, And it's just a weird coincidence that every time Rev Walter comes through,
Except for the first.
the first two, I think.
No, one. Because the second one, he came in late.
No, remember we've had you with Moto at Tri Lounge.
Yeah, that was the first one.
That was the first time we ever came on the
First
podcast.
time, yes.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
We've never had
episode 100, isn't it, Gob?
episode 100. Yeah. Then we had you at 150. Elson didn't show up again.
Yes.
Here we are again today, and
We're on episode what now?
this is like 183 or something. Yeah.
I tell you.
And the funny thing is, oh, Chi's here. Chi. Chinyoda. Chi, we're
I
just.
haven't seen you forever.
I think as Gob sets you up, let me just give a shout out to people making these episodes possible.
Yeah.
One of the most loyal, to us is Brothers Mocktails. That's
Let me
Big
have
Three
the
Beverages. Please have a mocktail and let me know how that tastes. Have you tasted these
Yeah,
before?
of course, I buy them
Good.
regularly.
Good.
So I've been just waiting for something.
We'll not dwell much on the taste then. But if you haven't yet tasted Brothers Mocktails, feel free to get to a supermarket near you, try these things out, and I can guarantee you will call us back. Or at least you will comment saying these drinks are the best on the market when it comes to...
I want to put on the website, so
I think it's okay, for as long as you don't spill on my books now.
that's why
Yeah, don't spill on my books, Rev.
you could knock it off and
I don't think
knock
it'll...
it off accidentally. But it's quite a lean, It's like you want
All right. Maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but carry your advertising. Otherwise, I would have put it here.
Yeah.
Can I?
You can, yeah. You can.
I know
I mean, the
it's-
branding is there, so it's all good.
watching, but just wanted to make sure that now this is easy. If it's here, I can just reach out and sip.
Yes.
Unlike
Chi, how you doing?
Chinyota Msimuko.
Yoda.
Fantastic, Rev Waltz.
Hey,
How you been?
Msimuko.
Can I finish my lunch in the background?
You want to finish your lunch in the background?
I was driving, eating.
Where 2 or 3 are gathered during my lunch, that's too many.
He says where 2 or 3 are gathered during his lunch. That's one too many.
I was actually driving and eating.
You see what I'm
No, for real. I
ju-
said, eat this hunger. Let me just drive by. But you're looking good, bro. You're looking very
Chi,
good.
can you come through? Can you come through? Oh, right. Let me just sort this out. And while I do that,
So you see, I should have worn sneakers like you, but I said I forgot one because I would have worn. If I just saw you with those white sneakers the way you were, I'd have exactly dressed black as well with the sneakers. Yeah.
go quickly pass this on to Mr.
Somebody.
Chinyoda. I've already started the process. So we're now on. Yeah, you know how to continue from there. Yeah. All right, cool. So I was giving a shout out to Techno Cameron 40. I don't know if you've tried this phone out as well. Techno Cameron 40. Heard of it on the market? No?
I won't say much because
Okay, Rev. This is
I've
one of the
never
best.
bought a techno.
It's about time you changed your perception when it comes to.
I buy Infinix, which is the higher.
No. Let me tell you something about the Techno Cameron 40. The Techno Cameron 40 has features on it that other phones are probably going to have in 6 months from now.
Give me the specs I hear.
I'm not even going to go into space. I'll go into the functionality.
Okay.
Okay. It's got this camera thing.
You know me, I'm big on the on the specs, not the camera thing, because I don't use cameras generally. As long as the camera is like a 20 megapixel front camera
Right.
or higher, that's good enough for me for my lives.
Okay.
And then it's gotta have at least minimum 8, but higher better. 16 GB RAM, that's very acceptable. But 8 GB is very good in this day and age. But 16 is better because it's so stable, doesn't hang, doesn't block. Some apps are very heavy. So when you use the smaller RAM, it actually starts to give you problems. It starts freezing and,
No, the Techno Cameron 40.
No, those are big. It sounds
We've been telling them for the longest time, like, why is this phone priced so lowly,
affordably.
affordably?
No, because, man, dude, the competition.
Yeah.
No, I'm
but
not talking
you know,
about-
the price
just-
point and the functions, totally different. Like I keep telling you, this phone, much of what we're seeing on the Techno Common 40 is going to be in other phones 4 or 5 months from now when they see what this phone can do on its own. It's amazing.
But
Check-
what's the pricing on that?
it's like 7,000 kwacha.
That's okay.
Around that much, yeah.
But I'd like to see the specs.
Okay, sure.
I'm assuming it's 256 or higher GB.
I'll have them Googled for you while we do this episode.
The show. Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's no stranger to the podcast, and I'm sure you know that. That's Reverend Walter. Welcome back once again.
Yes, sir.
And
I like your sneakers.
Thank you so much. They are
Nice.
very comfortable sneakers.
Yes, I can see.
Every time Elson and I have like so many questions, we say, let's call Rev Walter. And Elson called you first before I did.
He did, yes.
And the funny thing is, when he called you, and that was like 2-3 weeks ago, and then I called you, you tell me you and Elson are like a marriage now because what you're saying is exactly what Elson called saying.
Correct.
And I didn't know he had actually even called you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was
But then
like,
again, we spend so much
I
time.
actually thought that it was like you had coordinated.
planned move.
Yeah. So
think
you
it-
called, gee, my man, haven't seen you forever.
Rev Wald, it's been a minute, right?
And a half.
Yeah.
The voice. I miss that.
I miss my black hair. That's how long it's been, though. That's how long it's been. No, you maintained, though.
No,
You
but
maintained.
it's just that the thing is growing bigger and bigger.
Are you finally here to share the secret of youth? Because he has not aged, like for real.
For real.
Right?
Are you kidding?
Although somebody was telling me this morning, why is Reverend Walter still in denial? I was telling somebody why isn't
No.
Reverend Walter today.
For-
Why is he in denial? Why doesn't he just go bold?
Because two factors. Number one, I hate going to the barbershop. I genuinely hate it.
Yeah.
So I do once a month.
Literally, just once a month.
When I go there, I do everything. So I'm there for 4 hours. they do the retouch,
Yeah.
they do the dyeing, they do the whatever.
The whole
Then I
shebang.
set it and I'm done.
Yeah.
Why do you relax your hair? Do you relax it? It's naturally that way.
No, I relax it.
Why do you relax it?
I just love it. You know, I've always been a hair guy. You know, when I was younger, my hair was much more.
That 1980s.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's the 80s. Oh, yeah. Soul glow. Let your soul shine. We're gonna get the plastic covers next time. Yeah, we're gonna get the plastic covers next time Rev Wald comes by.
My
though.
hair, those gelled. You know, these days we've got all these special creams. So, you know, you can put it there and then it's gelled and hardened.
Yes.
So it's like set. So it looks, when my hair was much more, it looked much better. But hey,
Still looks fresh. Still looks fresh.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's a process.
And then, you know, I use special creams as well to make sure there's no dandruff. So when you check in my hair, you see it's nice and clean kind of stuff.
How many hours do you spend at a barber?
Me-
Because that sounds like a 4-hour session.
yeah, far.
So I'm just wondering before I wrap myself out, like I'm like, is that the normal procedure? So I had to ask my brother man before I talk about like my 10-minute procedure. And
10. Dude.
okay, it's like an hour. It's like
I think an hour give or
under
take
an
should
hour,
be normal.
right? Okay.
Yeah, but for me, I actually don't even go to the barber. I go to the hairdressers.
Right.
Yeah, so they're the ones who do. And you know, this finding the right hairdresser thing is a bit of a nightmare. So I had to go around the saloons until I found one decent one. which-
And how long have you been with that hairdresser? Because that is a true sign of loyalty.
4 hours.
right?
So for
Yeah.
years.
Whoever touches your hair,
Yeah.
you know, my barber has known me before I've known my own children. Literally, he was cutting me before those guys were born.
You know the funny thing, the first barber that used to cut my hair
Yeah.
has become a very wealthy guy.
You see?
So he can't cut my hair anymore. And but
Wait. He got wealthy from bobbing.
no,
or
he's a
other
very
businesses.
smart guy. He was barbing, but he was
Right.
also doing other business, and the other business really took off.
Yeah.
You know, he was in a middle class chic hairdresser.
Right.
So he had all those, you know, bankers and stuff coming. And it's
a great place
and
to
then
network.
he started
It's a great place
started
to
lending
network.
them money.
Oh.
Yeah, and barbers have got some of the best networks like ever. And hairdressers I can imagine as well, because even the ladies that come through, they're not paying chump change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's a great place to
And the
network.
place I go to,
Yeah.
got, you know, tomorrow. You know, overpriced hair.
Uh-huh. My barber got stolen from me though.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, he got stolen from me because the same thing. It's networking. You have all sorts of people moving in, and then one bigwig who we all know has stolen my barber. Kasanda, if you're listening, bring back Mubami. That ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool, Shad.
Yeah, because some of these guys were
For real though.
No,
for
but-
real. We had the same barber.
you're so-
Then he just cashed him out, and
Do you
so
know
hard
what
to
happened
find
to
him.
the one that used to cut my hair? So he'd have a number of very big buanas. So what they'd do is literally just send for him.
Yeah.
Like literally send the car, pick him up, come through with
Yeah,
us
exactly.
to call out Israel.
Exactly.
Can anybody else do that?
Oh no. Oh, that's yeah.
Even I've got to be careful on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, real.
Of Israel, and taking it something sort of closer to home for you. When the Bible says those are the chosen of God, why were they chosen?
You know that topic is so sensitive. I will not even comment.
I was about to say that is you asked the right
How were they
person.
chosen?
A whole reverend. Because some people are like, yo, it's biblical, it's geographical, it's political, it's economical.
You know, let me tell
As
you.
a reverend,
Let me give you a clue.
as a theologian.
Why are Israelites the chosen people?
Let me give you a clue. First of all, let's define what you mean when you talk about Israel.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Israel, God's people, as
Right.
in the Bible? Or
Yeah.
are you talking about Israel, the nation?
Yeah, so which school of
So
thought
which
do
one
you
is it?
subscribe to?
Well,
No, just define which one you're talking
I'm
about.
picking the one that says
Because they are miles apart, bro.
they are. Towards serious.
Oh no, 180-degree opposites.
How so?
Schoolers.
School us, please.
As I
Because for
said
me, it's
again,
one thing.
for
You know what I
the-
mean?
Yeah, like the
Israelites-
average person.
Listen,
Yeah, like these guys are basically causing genocide. I'll call it what it is. I know YouTube's gonna
No,
beep that.
but sure.
But it is what it
They're
is. I mean,
convicted.
it's horrific.
But look, here's the thing.
Yeah. Are those
The
those chosen
nation of Israel and the people of Israel, as defined in the Bible, are not the same, and that's an easily provable argument. Easily provable. Easily provable.
So you have also this.
You know what?
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Because the 12 tribes were
Right.
scattered to the corners of the earth. 1. 2. Remember that Israel as a nation is not necessarily Jewish. Because Jewish or Judaists are the subscribers to the law and teachings of God as given in the 5 books of the law, or what they call the Talmud, or the 5 books, the Pentateuch. So anyone who converted was considered Jewish, as long as they subscribed.
So as long as you
Yours.
subscribe to the Torah,
You are Jewish whether
you're
you are
Jewish, not by
naturally-
blood.
No, you can be Jewish by conversion.
Um,
So let's start right
yeah,
there.
yeah.
So historically, it's been shown that there were lots of groups that were not necessarily from Israel, Canaan per se,
Yeah.
who became Jews.
So is he protecting those who convert? Like,
Now,
do I get my
when we
card
say-
to
when
get that
you say-
guarantee,
when you
or do I
say
have to be born
he's
in the
protecting,
lineage?
which he are we talking about here? Which he? God. That's a deeply debatable discussion, which I cannot speak here for the sake of my future.
Yeah, but who's gonna take you out if you answer the question?
I can't say who. It's that bad, bro. It's that bad. I just don't want to be in that space.
But
So can we go back to the question of chosen?
No,
How were they
that's
chosen?
A
Who?
deeply argued question. Because chosen by who?
Right.
You see, because the original
The God of
Jews
Jacob,
are
the God
not-
of Isaac, the God of
Yes,
Moses.
but those are the original people. And those had a traceable lineage
Okay.
right up to the time when the scatter came. AD 70, when Rome basically got rid of Jerusalem. And then that's when they all scattered to the corners of the earth. God will gather back his people. Now, it's a deeply argued thing because there are those who claim the gathering happened in 1947. I have my own views. I have my own views.
What was
I'd like to hear one of your views.
milestone in 1947? That was literally now the formation of the nation of Israel.
Correct. And
that is currently
we
Israel.
gotta really look that in the state.
Right.
Because do you know that the state of Israel, part of their rules is they really do not submit to any form of other religion. They're also religiously intolerant.
Right.
That's why Orthodox Jews will spit at Christians because they don't subscribe to the whole idea of Jesus and everything about that. That's rejected.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to go into there's some deep controversies around the whole state of Israel and what it's about, how it came about, and why it is the way it is, and where they're headed.
Right.
Where they're headed.
So who are
And
the chosen?
even-
The
and even
nation
this-
of Israel or the Israelites? Who are
The
the chosen?
Israelites are the chosen
Why are they chosen?
because God chose them.
Why?
Because that's where he chose to identify himself. Remember, And this is very interesting, but this goes like back into the day. See, when Adam sinned and fell off and then began to spread with his family across the face of the earth, God scattered them in Babel. Now, when he scattered them, something significant had happened in Genesis 6. The angels actually came down on earth. That's the view I subscribe to. So the angels came down on earth and made pacts to influence men. And their aim was very simple, to draw them further away from God. Now, as they were doing that and making pacts with men, these angels, very powerful beings, you call them territorial spirits, call them gods, whatever you want to call them. But in other writings, they're called the Anunnaki. In other writings, they're called the pantheons of gods. The Greeks have their own names. The Babylonians have their own names. The Egyptians have their own names. But all of them essentially were gods. These gods made deals with men. Men traded power for land. And so these territorial spirits had control over every zone. So they were literally taking over the world. So Yahweh, to assert his authority, also picked Canaan. It's there in Deuteronomy 32. He picked Canaan and said, through these people, I will make myself known. So there are territorial gods everywhere. Egypt had its own gods. Most of our places in Africa were on gods. Everywhere there are these territorial gods. So the choosing was God who decided, I will pick these people and identify myself to the whole world through them. That's the choosing. So people need to understand where that's coming from.
Black Jews.
Yeah?
Black Jews.
Another very controversial topic.
So-
that one I can talk about. I'm not-
Yeah. You know, I mean, I had one of my favorite NBA players, Kyrie Irving. Followed him since college days. Go Duke. Into, you know, his controversy about 3 seasons ago. He was forced to apologize. He was suspended from the season. For part of the season.
Yeah, because he promoted
The concept of black Jews.
Yeah, there was a whole documentary.
Yes.
Very powerful, very legit.
Is there such a thing as black Jews? Without
100%.
Without you.
100%.
And when we say Jews, are we talking about those who converted?
No.
The OG.
The
God
locals
has
of
picked
that
me
area.
on my team. God has picked me on his team.
The original
Yeah.
people, the original people in that area.
Yeah.
You know, Abdul Nasser made a very funny comment, and it's been a quote ever since. Nasser was the first president of Egypt.
Of Egypt, yes.
You know what he says? He's got a quote, so I can quote him, so at least that they don't shoot me. It's him. He said, it is ironic, and I don't have the exact wording, but I'll do the paraphrase. It's ironic because these people left as blacks and came back as whites.
Yeah. And that was Kyrie Irving's whole thing, and he got suspended from the NBA.
No, but look, there is a lot of evidence because look, I had the privilege of sitting down with what we call the Back to Israel African Jews, and I sat with one of their leaders, Ben Israel.
Yeah.
And he saw Ben Israel, great man. I have a lot of respect for him. Very scholarly, very learned. In fact, that whole group from Ben Israel, the original Ben Israel, with their whole group from the 1960s, who then came first. They came in, were stuck in Ghana a bit, then went to Israel and settled in a place called Dimona. So when you go to Dimona right now, there's a whole community of black Hebrews. So they operate, they have their whole thing. They live almost communally, Old Testament style.
Yeah.
Very, very learned people.
I found them in Ethiopia.
Yes.
Yeah,
So now these particular ones, I had an opportunity to sit with Ben Israel, one of their leaders, and he was explaining to me the background of that. And the background is very simple. The background is that Canaan has always had people of color. They've always been there. But there is something very unique about the Middle East when it comes to the white Arabs and the original Middle East people. So the whole North Africa, historically, is black. So there is a whole thing around these white Arabs coming in. Very, very controversial.
No, I mean, when you look at the Sphinx, bro, that's a nigger nose.
That's right. So
When you look at the
yeah,
pharaoh,
white, yeah.
that's a nigger nose.
what's his name? Ante Diop. Cheek Ante Diop did a whole study on that.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest controversies is that Egyptology, the only ancient study that is actually, what's the word I can use, has a name tied to the country. Because all these other places, there were ancient civilizations, but Egypt is the only place where they have Egyptology. And the thing about Egyptology is that it was deliberately created to harness, protect, and gatekeep certain truth.
Basically, whitewash it at that point.
That's the word, bro.
Because you look at like
That's the word.
Tutankhamun, you look at all these.
Those are black noses.
Those-
You better white the nose on
Those
those
are
guys.
black
Look,
kids.
the famous
You better buy-
You better white the nose on those guys.
You know what I'm saying?
famous passage in the Bible.
Yeah.
The famous passages in the Bible that really hit you between the eyes is let me read them because
God, we don't have a Bible in this studio.
Heathen gob.
Atheists,
I
heathens.
tell you. Oh.
so let me open. So in the book of Revelation, there's a description of Jesus, and it is a very interesting description. And I'm going to challenge you, if you have internet,
I do.
to go and look for what I'm going to read out.
All right, let's go. What are we looking for?
All like
We're looking for no, that's even better. We're going to look for the word burnt bronze. I want you to Google burnt bronze and look at the picture of what burnt bronze looks like. Meantime, here it is. It's written in the book of Why Is My Phone Hanging When I'm on Air with these guys.
Which book is that now?
The book of Revelation.
You said
chapter 1.
In the book of Why Is My Phone Hanging now?
No, because I'm trying to open the thing and it's freezing. I'm like, this phone doesn't freeze. No,
Burnt bronze. Well, we're looking at just the color, right?
yeah, look at the color.
Okay. See that?
yeah.
What color is that?
No, that is
And mostly guns are showing
that-
up. Why are guns showing up?
But look at it. What color is that?
not Miley Cyrus.
That's the skin of Jesus. According to
That is not
That's you.
Taylor Swift color.
no.
That's you. Actually, it's your complexion, yeah.
Bronze. Now,
Burnt
there's
bronze.
an even more interesting passage in the book of Revelation, which is so controversial. Let me read it out for you. I'm reading from the Bible so that they don't say he is spreading
Falsehoods.
and evil. So I want to show you this very interesting. Jesus goes to speak to a certain group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says to them, listen to what he says. The persecuted church. These things says the first and the last who was dead and has come to life. I know your works, tribulation and poverty, but you're rich. And I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but of the synagogue of Satan.
Yo, that cuts very deep to like Africa's situation.
Absolutely. Because let me
That
ask
is-
you a question. Go right now to the Bible. Look at the curses that God said. If you do not follow me and you do not call on me and you go after other gods, these are the things I'll do to you. There is no group on the earth that matches word for word what has happened to them apart from us.
That literally talks about what we discussed earlier about having all these resources at our disposal. It is there in Revelations that you have this, but
You're broke.
wow.
Read that. It's like,
Wow.
You are poor, but you're rich.
Wow, that's powerful.
You're poor, but you're rich.
Yeah.
And there are those persecuting you who claim to be Jews, but they're not.
Wow.
I see what you
So,
did there.
so, but I don't want to go deeper because to be
Go
honest,
deeper, Papa.
No, I cannot afford to take on that group.
Speaking of,
But take it from me.
yeah.
There is so much, and even now, now I'm gonna go a bit apocalyptic and a bit
Episcopalian.
No,
No?
It's eschatological. Yeah, I'm gonna go a bit.
Like a new word. It's always like a new word you're going to learn on an episode of Revolt. You know what I mean?
Brought to you by the Webster Dictionary. I see you.
What? Eschatological.
It's-
That's the study of end
Write that
things.
down. Write that
Yeah,
down.
the study of end time things. So,
Right.
what is interesting is that if you look deeper into this whole thing with what's going on in the Middle East, this is the prelude to the big appearance. So there's what I like to call the great appearance, and the great appearance is basically the time when the son of perdition, what the Muslims call the Dajjal, what the Christians call the Antichrist, what ancient teachings call Horus,
Yeah.
the eye of Horus,
Yeah.
Apollo.
Yeah.
You see, that's the same guy. So this guy is going to make a massive appearance, and he's going to deceive the whole world. And it's starting from there. And you see, you've got to understand, every time you see massive bloodshed in the world, it is always, from a blood standpoint, it is a means to pay the price to the gods that run the territories in order to gain power. So men who understand the price that blood pays in the spirit world will shed tons of blood. And notice, every great establishment always comes on the back of great bloodshed. Even wealth comes on the back of great bloodshed.
Sacrifice, yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
So somebody's blood must be shed
Must be
in
shed.
massive numbers. So
blood is
look
a
at
price.
Israel. For Israel to come into existence, the nation, the state, there had to be 6 million Jews slaughtered senselessly.
Yeah.
It's ironic. It's ironic that Hitler himself was deeply occultic. Nothing he did was by chance. The man was deeply occultic. Even the so-called star they were made to wear.
Right.
That thing has a lot of stories to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They call it the Star of David, but I'm not going to talk much about it, but just take it from me.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting star. All right. So that star and everything about it is very powerful. It is one of the most powerful, potent
Symbols,
yes,
emblems.
exactly.
it's a very
because it's you know, in sacred geometry, we're taught about the power of sigils. So a sigil is basically any symbol that holds power. So every logo, everything you see around you has power. There's power behind those symbols. So those who are versed in esoteric knowledge don't just pick symbols from the blue. They're very, very knowledgeable. They know exactly what symbols to use and what power to project in those symbols. So some of those symbols, for them to gain power and to get the authority of the God that runs those territories, you need blood. So it does, you know, we're watching a literal genocide taking place, like you said, and no one's speaking. You know why?
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to
And
happen.
not only that, the whole world is mesmerized. It's not coincidental that the Bible speaks about, and they marveled. That word is used, and they marveled at the beast and said, who is able to make war with him? Nobody. That's the amount of power he has. They marveled. They were enchanted. When you go into the commerce space, because I've heard people, you know, the other day I brought up a topic I don't want to mention because we're flowing, but I brought up a topic the other day and I said, this thing, when you take into this habit, it robs destiny. So some people had a bone to pick with me. What do you mean? Come on, Rev, you're just using fear mongering. How can that rob destiny? I mean, so many people are doing it and they're very rich. Then I answered and said, the problem is you're equating destiny with financial success. They're not the same. Destiny is the fulfillment of God's will. None of us put ourselves on earth here.
Yeah.
We were put here for a purpose.
Yeah.
So when we fulfill that purpose, then we fully have achieved our destiny. But most times we are derailed. So now when we talk about this financial success, who's the God of this earth when it comes to finances? It's Mammon. That's why in Revelation 18, the merchants of the world cry when Babylon's destroyed. They mourn, they weep. Oh, this great city has fallen. Oh, this great city has fallen. And what were they merchants of? It's very interesting. There's a very long list there. You know, gold and furniture and whatever, and fashion and, you know, and the last part, which really hits home, bodies and souls of men.
So, you know, I was wondering the best way to actually segue into this
There you are. There you are.
with the Reverend.
That brief pause.
I'm like, that's my cue.
Oh, is it?
I was like, that's my cue. So when you talk about your destiny is not necessarily tied to finances, which is such a warped concept, which I must say a lot of people in our society, all right, and particularly this group I'm about to ask about, subscribe to a lot. And that's why you find, like, amongst them, the prosperity gospel has been big.
Huge.
Amongst the chat on social media, it's like, if you don't have this, then it equals nothing,
Absolutely.
which is always crazy to individuals who found their calling in life, because then you just sound lost, like, to be truly honest.
True.
When it comes to symbolism, action, spirituality, and the female folk in our society.
That's right.
I'm asking you this as a reverend, okay? Because I know some jarred feminists, there's different movements. I'm talking to the jaded ones.
I know.
All right. We'll probably be like, oh, but it's you guys discussing females and no females. No. What it is, you know, our sisters, some of our sisters have been taught the wrong doctrine, the wrong things to prioritize.
Unfortunately.
And by the way, because with those things, I still believe in the message of abundant life. So those things will follow suit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
I've
right.
never
remember
my priorities
finances,
are that.
finances are what are an after effect.
It's a byproduct.
Absolutely, yeah, of value. So when you bring
Yeah,
value
yeah,
into the
yeah,
market,
yeah,
they
yeah.
will, money will follow.
Absolutely.
yeah.
So a lot of our sisters are into what we'd call juju. All right.
Yeah.
Whether they know it or don't know it is the
Yeah.
crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like some are just openly like I've got this one friend of a friend. And you go to her WhatsApp page and it's there. It's like, oh, I sell blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah blah.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Now I'm friends with a friend of yours who I was close to, and all these things matter eventually. Okay. I've had situations where another female will come and say, oh, that's who you're dating. Do you know she was putting juju in your shampoo? Like all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And these are like your urban girls.
No,
bruh.
for
These
sure.
are like educated
For
people,
sure.
okay.
For sure.
Why are our sisters so susceptible to dabbling in things occult without understanding? I'll say without understanding because I'm one person who studied Freemasonry. I'll tell you straight up.
He's a Freemason.
Yes.
No, I'm not.
No, I mean,
And we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
no, I mean, I'm one person.
Requests left, right, and center.
No, we're going to
Yeah,
talk about
but
that. I'll bring it up.
But yeah,
But even in that, I mean, it takes understanding what you're walking into. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the invitations are there, and you go in there with knowledge, okay? And the knowledge you seek is the knowledge you seek,
yeah.
okay? But so many of our sisters are going into these occult practices or even studies. Maybe it is just curiosity before you begin the practice without knowledge of what's going on.
So what's the
what
question
is
there?
so why is it that our females are falling,
Let me read for you.
are more susceptible?
Let the Bible.
Because even when you said stealing souls of men, is that men as in the gender or
Actually,
the
merchants.
yes?
So there's difference.
merchants.
They're not
Yes.
stealing. Though there are those who rob.
Oh, sorry, trading in
souls and bodies.
of souls and bodies of men.
Yes.
Was that men, the gender, or was that mankind?
mankind.
Wow.
Yeah, deep.
Wow.
So
The
everything
question's
from
about the women now.
prostitution-
Yeah. Now,
Yeah. So now let me read. Let me read.
Yeah.
Let me read why
yeah.
they do so.
Yeah.
The Bible says
Oh, because guys don't do charms as much.
they do. Not as much, but they do. They do.
Why did you back me up on that one? That's scared of you.
Listen to this.
I have the right to remain
Ah.
silent.
But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and harmful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money, that's what the Bible says, not money. For the love of money is a root to all kinds of evil, not evil, but all kinds of evil, for which some have strayed from the faith in their greediness and pierced themselves with many sorrows. So essentially, these are people who have avarice. Remember, avarice, a lot of people don't even know what the word avarice means because they don't even know about the 7 deadly sins. But the 7 deadly sins, one of them is avarice. Avarice is greed. Greed is the reason why people get scammed every day. Greed is the reason why many people will start pursuing what I would call unbecoming behavior. The greed is the reason why many women will happily marry somebody they don't love as long as they can just have a good life.
Yeah.
So this is what the Bible means by the love of money. It's this desire to have money.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
when they're told, oh, there's this nganga.
Yes.
Before I got saved, I was deep in the occult. There were a couple of aunties, I can't name them because they were my teachers. But there were a couple of aunties I learned from who were gifted in the eye. They could see. So they were seers. And I can tell you these people had customers. There were big cars parking from morning to evening.
Yeah.
Auntie so-and-so and auntie, there were 2 big aunties and I knew them very well.
Yeah.
And one of them used to read teacups and she would read from teacups. The other one used to read from looking at the face and the hands. So they would tell you your story. They would tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
So people used to go to consult these people and ask for meds and charms and what to do. And
Read
these
from a
ladies-
teacup. Right here in Zambia.
Oh yeah.
in Kamala. Because I lived in Madras. And
stop
then
moving on
there was
off
one auntie
more in
there
Lusaka.
that used to do that. So she was very, when I'm telling you, big cars used to come and park and they would be waiting. So what they would do is they would make tea. They would brew tea, but it would be tea leaves.
Tea leaves, yeah.
So that when you drink your teacup, when you're done with the teacup, the pattern of the tea leaves at the bottom of the cup is what they would read. So when you take it to her, she had spirits and she'd look into it and start telling you so much. I see this, I see that. She was very accurate. There's stuff,
Serious?
that woman told me, which is happening in my life now.
She sold this how many years ago?
I was 20. No, I wasn't even 20. I was 18, 19.
But my pushback to that would be, again, don't you think because somebody tells you this is going to happen in your life, you sort of get into this mode of expectation?
It's a possibility.
And
there is that aspect of working towards what somebody said you would do.
Right.
Exactly.
But some of the stuff, this lady, the thing whether somebody's stuff is operating genuinely. When I say genuine, I don't mean genuine godly, but genuinely seeing is by the fruit, by the results. Because if you're a quack, people soon see through your act and they say this guy's fake.
But
I would love...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is these people actually tend to nail it.
Like, would she see things in your life maybe at that present time that others could not see for you to confirm that what she's saying is actually true? Would she do such things?
For sure.
Yeah.
For you to confirm?
No, 100%. Because I know what she said.
Stuff that you thought was in the shadows. She's like, nah.
No, she'd see. And she'd say. And it was so funny. The number of people that would go to this lady's, I almost mentioned her name. They would go to this lady's house. They were in the droves. We had ministers. We had judges.
People trying to find out if they're going to win an election.
No, that was 89, 90.
Oh, right. There was no...
No, but you do remember when the Miloni brothers, when GPM was just like, yo, these guys are using juju. And he was like straight up minister of defense. And he was just like, let's just get our own witch doctors. Like for real. Like, this is my solution as minister of defense.
Absolutely.
Let's get our own witch
those
doctors.
Guys were operating with certain powers.
Yeah.
But I'm not in any way here to promote dark powers, but I'm just saying that that's what goes on.
That's how deep it is.
Have insight. So the women are going there because they are really greedy. They are tired of whatever life they're in, and they are admiring. Because like now we have social media, but there's always been some form of social media in the past.
Right.
So right now the social media is flaunting a fake life for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And many of these people are willing to do anything to be famous.
You know the warning
come from the devil? These people are able to see these
from the dark side. Yeah, absolutely. It's the dark side.
You're either playing for one team or you're not. And it was
either you're on Jesus
and it was
or the other.
and it was a very, very popular, gorgeous lady that just told me straight up, and she was like, please watch your drink in, I won't mention the place, that place, in the place.
Yes, because
in the place.
There are people.
We get it. You know what she told me though? She's like, she's like, there's market for you. And she said it like as a joke, but like for real. And she goes, there's market for you. So my friends will put pee in your drink. And I'm like, what is that? She's like, oh, no, that's one of the many things they tell us to carry around and we put in niggas' drinks.
Yeah.
Like, yo.
And then what, when they do
straight up. I was like, what?
Tell you the thing about being enchanted. How does enchantment work? If you walk around, if you live as a child of God, and this is the place I get shot on social media for saying this, but I'm just going to say it. When you're a child of God, you are a child of God by imputation. What that means is, it's not me, it's not my holiness, it's not my life that makes me a child of God. It's my confession and receiving of Jesus. Yeah. But, a disclaimer now. How I live from that point of becoming a child of God into the future is dependent on my discipline.
Yeah.
How much am I willing to die to self? So what tends to happen is if you live a life and you claim to be a child of God, but you live with open doors, because in life we have what are called open doors. What are open doors? Genesis chapter 4 talks about an open door. When Cain was pissed off with his brother because his offering was accepted and his wasn't, God said, sin crouches at the door and wants to take over you, but you shall rule over it. If you choose, you can rule over it. And how do you rule over sin? You shut the door. So what was the door that Cain opened? Jealousy, envy. Those were the doors. Now, in this day and age, a lot of people are opening doors. It may not be unforgiveness and jealousy. It might be just in immorality. So if you get into immorality, you are literally an open door. And the enemy will use that. So that's where now, if you happen to be in the wrong place and you find the wrong women, what some of these women will do, you talk about P, there's a next level. The next level is your actual seed. So those of you like sleeping around, what sharp women who understand the power of sorcery can do is they get hold of your seed. When you ejaculate, that seed contains life. Because you can get a baby out of that. So that's seed, that's life, that's literally your blood, but it's the next level of your blood. So then your blood is the most powerful, potent, carrier of life. But next is your seed.
Yeah.
That's why seed is so powerful. So they'll carry that seed and they go to special witches and doctors and sorcerers who know how to do the right enchantments, because there are formulas that you use. So we use your seed and we can then trap you. So that's how these people get trapped. So all of a sudden somebody goes from a sensible man to being a literal idiot, literally a cuckold. Sorry to use that word, but that's exactly what some of these men become.
Yeah.
Like cuckold, like there's like a young guy, mucking around with his girlfriend and he's just laughing.
Yeah. No, because you're like, I'll tell you now,
Right.
like,
Totally enchanted.
like I have had experiences. I still have experiences where it's like people are pissed with me because I'm not a simp.
That's right.
But that's the thing, because they're like, oh, no, this, and they'll play with you. They'll be like, oh, no, but blah, blah, blah. And you can be a gentleman. I think the one thing I know about the three of us is we're gentlemen. We know how to look after the women in our lives.
That's right.
Full stop.
That's right.
Okay. Interestingly enough, this person who is telling me this is somebody, after we met, she didn't know what rent was for 2 years in her life. And she told me straight up, like, you have done nothing for me. Right. So, and I was just like, yo, this is giving like really weird vibes, because if I start producing receipts, and as gentlemen, we will never do that. That's the other thing, right?
But
So we're not going to start producing receipts. But it was like I didn't milk you enough. Was like what I was getting, and I'm like,
do you know something very interesting?
so it's just like she was mad at me and my spirit for eventually just like, yo, I can do this and this, but until we reach this stage, I think let's put this on hold and whatever.
Absolutely.
And it was like an anger.
But
that,
you know the funny thing about the women now, and here I'm not talking. I get into a lot of trouble for these things, but it's not. Look, let me put some disclaimers in front first, because I always get into trouble for this. Like I got some really bad. So anyway, one, I'm married, happily, 14 years and counting, very happily married, like really happily married. We all have problems in marriages, but no, it's a good marriage. Two, I have sisters. A sister was married. I've got a mother, and I've got daughters. One of them just got married. Nicely sent her off in a nice marriage. She's got a child. So when I have a little girl, so I want people to understand that when I speak these things, I'm not being anti-feminist or being sexist. Somebody called me a sexist on social.
It's not with malice.
No.
Yeah.
What I'm about to say is very real. The Bible talks about the fact that when God was, I heard this from a good friend of mine. Didn't get permission, so I won't mention his name. But a good friend of mine, we're talking about this, and he was talking about the fact that the Bible uses a very interesting term in the Old Testament, desire. And when Eve is being cursed, she is told that he will rule over you, but you will desire for your husband. Your desire shall be for your husband. So many people don't understand that word. They think it's some kind of affectionate word. Until you realize that that word desire is used only in two parts in the Bible. One is that particular one, and then the second one is the very next 2 verses later. No, one chapter later, which is, what's his name? Cain. The Bible says that sin crouches at the door and its desire is for you. That's the word again. So imagine the word, the idea of sin wanting to rule you and the idea of a woman wanting to rule her husband. That's the same word. So now you start to get an idea. It's not a desire that is because you love, but it's a desire. And that's where women now have to fight the urge to be rulers in their home, because their desire is to control. So it's not about guiding. It crosses beyond guide and it goes to literal control. Women want to control their husbands. They want to put them, for lack of a better word, in the Nigerian thing, in a bottle and tell them what to do. That's basically what women who are not mindful and careful and cautious end up doing. That's why they nag. That's why they talk down. That's why they complain. They never see any good. But that's a bad woman, by the way. That's a bad woman, because there are very wise women who
The
know.
Proverbs 31 woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. But what happens is the natural inclination is to control the man.
No, and I'll say
That's
this.
the natural.
I'll say this. Please just pause on that, because I'm still listening. Even in Western society, because I know a lot of our sisters will feel attacked, but even in Western society, you've heard that phrase, "I made a man of him." Like when wives talk, you know what I'm saying? Even in white culture, they'll be like, I made a man of him. You know, it's like, it's like, so they see you like a project. Like women love seeing you like a project, you know, and that's not.
But the sad thing though, on write that word there, is that they don't understand this component of the desire to control. So instead of making the man in the true sense of being a helper, which is what the Bible calls Ezra, very powerful word. Did you know that the word Ezra is in 20 places in the Old Testament? And of those 20 places, 4 relate to women, including I will make him a helper suitable to him. That's one of the 4. 16 is to do with God helping man. So imagine the same concept of a wife is the same concept of how God helps man. I'll lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come? My help comes from. Exactly. So God helps, you know. So everything to do with Ezra is God, God, God. 16 places is God. 4 places is women. So you can imagine a wife is literally, if you look at the positive side of it, a wife is literally like a god to the man. That's why God said it's not good that man should be alone. So it was not, and even the women, like if they really want to actualize, like, forget. That's why I say that destiny is not financial success. True actualization of true women is when they mother, when they become mothers, and that's the
and on the other side of the coin, as much as I've said like, yo, I've been around these kind of women, I've dated some of these women and whatever, I've also had like the most amazing women. And still do not like that, yo. But I mean, like in my life as friends. You know what I'm saying?
Think
like
of your own mom.
You know what I'm saying? And even just recently, I had a friend of mine, one of the people I was in the US with, and we hadn't seen each other in 9 years, and we caught up, and you know, during that work experience, last time we saw each other was 2016.
Wow.
And, you know, like, same thing with like a male friend where you just catch up on the conversation. But I noticed with her, even during that trip, she has tapped it, and she's happily married and everything, you know. But one thing that like drew me to her, one thing that really sparked our friendship was, even in this encounter when she came back, she spoke like right on beat, man. Wow. And this is a praying woman. This is a mother. She's a good wife. She's a great friend who's now like a sister to me. And she would just speak like on beat.
You know what I mean?
And I only get that from like certain women.
You see, that's the thing.
Who subscribe to like certain values.
Absolutely.
And they'll walk in your life and they'll be like, pat out.
You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah,
no,
like,
I agree.
What?
And
like,
but you know what? But
what, my sister.
But you
like,
know what makes that so amazing?
Yeah.
That's
it's so refreshing.
The ideal, like you say, the Proverbs 31, that's the ideal. And so the key for the sisters is literally to understand that that's what they're called to do. The ultimate purpose of a woman is to be a mother. And that you cannot, you know, I always tell people that the signs or the manifestation of purpose is in its design.
So when you say mother, do you mean like physical? Because then those women that can't.
Both.
Yeah.
Physical and emotionally.
Okay.
They are mothers. That's the ultimate, because they carry empathy. Women are the only people that have the capacity to have empathy, to nurture, to nourish. That's feeding. You know, and to basically nurture and nourish and to gestate. So when women are operating in their zone, they gestate. But when they're operating out of their zone, they fester. You know, it's the same concept, huh? But one rots, one grows.
Boss, have you seen this trend of like a lot of our slay queens who I'm well researched in?
You come in peace.
I come in peace.
Episode, I'm not mentioning any.
Come in peace.
I'll be eaten.
I came with no enemies. I shall leave with no enemies.
Go on, yes.
Hopefully.
SQs, yes. What about?
But have you noticed that there is a trend amongst like a lot of I'd say I don't know what we'd call them, but like your go-getters, according to society, a lot of like popular women or whatever. There's a trend for them not to be the ones actually raising their youngins on day to day. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. Then that's
Like
Already 2-3 names come to
you
mind.
know what I'm
Like,
saying? Like she'll tell you, like, yo, I've got a kid, I've got a whatever. She's not hiding it, and you're like, oh, where's Shorty? Where's the youngin? And it's like maybe 20%, 30% of your time is spent like actually raising that kid. The rest it's with a family member or whatever.
or
Yeah, so but you're
mainly
still
family.
pursuing riches, and then in society we're told that you empower women, you empower a whole community, and I'm like, but I just saw you get new Manolo blondes with that empowerment.
but you see
so
that now, that's where that-
have we moved away from that? Like where
No,
you're guaranteed like $100 for this lady is $100 for $90
But
for
you
the,
see, this is
know,
where the problem is.
like-
The problem is that we live in a society where there's always been business for being a woman of the night. Let's just call it.
oldest profession.
there's always a customer.
Yes, there's always,
Always a customer. Sales
So,
is
and
demand
then
and
not only
supply.
that, there's always a woman willing to sell her soul,
Right.
because prostitution is selling of your body,
Yeah.
and in many ways your soul as well. And let me be honest, going and opening an OnlyFans account
Yeah.
is prostitution, virtual prostitution.
Yeah.
It's still prostitution.
Have you followed that Shannon Sharp story?
No, but I
Well, that
know-
girl
I
has
noticed that.
closed the OnlyFans, yeah?
She closed.
She got cashed out, Rev. And like a day later, she said, I'm closing my OnlyFans.
I don't need this business
It was a straight up shakedown. She wasn't even shy. She didn't even let it marinate. Like the next day. Yeah.
So do you see that? That's how bad it is. These people, that was a shakedown.
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
But the sad thing though is that many are willing to do that.
Many are willing to do that, and many are actually even idolizing that type of
Absolutely. And it doesn't help when now you have, like here in Zambia, you have individuals that choose to go and do these things
Yes.
and then cause all the noise they're causing.
Yeah.
And then what people are seeing, the young people are seeing some of these people that went down that path
Right.
are actually, quote unquote, becoming socialites.
Right.
And since they admire the life,
Right.
because remember, they go on social media, they pose on cars and say,
Yeah.
I bought this car, I've been
Yeah,
working hard.
right.
When everybody knows that which working hard that was. But anyway,
Work is work.
the grind is the grind.
The
But
grind is the grind.
See
but-
why we're seeing more sex tapes out now than ever before.
for me, I've got my theory.
Mm.
And I was told off for that, but it's still my theory.
Let's hear it. I want to tell you off too. I'm not here to agree with you, Rev. This ain't that kind of church.
So here's my theory.
Yeah.
My theory is that this whole influx of sex tapes is a strategy to further demoralize the nation. You know, Zambia is one of the only countries where we still have an offense for recording and distributing.
Yeah.
You know,
Rev, in case you don't know, this might be the first time you're hearing it. We are a Christian nation. I have 2 kids. I had to leave the
Well,
country,
exactly.
have sex in South Africa, and come back here because I'm a Christian Zambian. I don't have sex in Zambia. How dare you, Rev? How dare you? Dare you? My kids were made
But
in
my
South
point,
Africa.
my point is not lost, Chief. My point is there's been a deliberate strategy to desensitize, because essentially, whenever you run any psyop, and psyops can be everything, and now we can say this because there was a time we couldn't, but you can still mute it, just in case COVID. So that's the word. So COVID was a psyop. Okay, 100%. Okay, these wars that are going on right now in the Middle East are all psyops.
It's a distraction.
No, psyops. Like literally get the public to buy into something and then they support it. Because look, how do you essentially commit genocide and no one is talking?
Yeah.
That's a psyop.
Yeah.
It's because an entire section of society has been mind messed. There's the real word which I can't use.
Groomed?
Because I'm a Christian. No. Mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they've been done to.
Yeah.
And so they can't see. Like there are Christians who are believers who are actually supporting that.
Oh, absolutely.
You get it?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a psyop.
Yeah.
When you see people losing their capacity to reason and support something that would normally not be supported, then you know that the psyop.
But I think because I have felt like a weirdo for the longest time. And as I said, you get called names and whatever, and your ego gets bashed, especially as a man.
I mean,
but
think
I'm
of
like,
COVID.
but the only reason I'm speaking about our sisters is because I have seen the game being played on them. I'm not like bashing them. I'm just like, the same way we have been fed nonsense.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The same way we have been fed nonsense, and we'll tackle different things that, you know, we find ourselves subscribing to, which we shouldn't. And that, for me, it's just great that you're in the room. But I would ask this to any gender with the knowledge of this. So once again, it's with love for my sisters that I'm like, free your mind, girl. No,
That's your thoughts. That's your thoughts.
you know,
on the
it's
sex
not
tapes.
condemnation.
That's your thoughts on the sex
Yeah,
tapes.
so essentially, this is what they call Bezmenov. Use the word, but it's in the Bible, so I'll talk about it. But Bezmenov was a defector from the KGB into the US. And he did a whole talk around subversive conversion of a nation, how you destroy a nation. And the first stage is to demoralize it. So it's a 15 to 20 age strategy. So you're not going after people our age. No, you're going for the youngsters. And you begin by demoralizing. And that word doesn't mean discouraging. No, it means breaking their morals. So in the US, they've done it so well, the woke culture, the transgender agenda, all that stuff. It's about a demoralization of an entire society so that you break it down from within, completely destroy the men, remove them from the center of that life. And how do you do that? By rewarding what we call bad behavior.
Right.
So what's bad behavior? A single parent house is not a good thing, but you reward that by giving them social security. When you have a man in the home, you take away the social. So you're actually punishing good behavior because you don't fund because there's supposed to be a man, but those men can't get the jobs. So you get the whole thing. It becomes a spiral of pain.
Right.
And so that's some of the demoralization. Now in Zambia, how have they demoralized us? They are bringing more and more these videos and slowly, remember there was a time Trace Channel was banned.
Channel O.
Channel O.
Channel O, sorry.
Channel O,
You
yeah.
realize today that nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's how you demoralize. So just keep showing and pushing that envelope, push that envelope, until now people can watch music videos with women literally putting their bums on the camera and shaking those booties.
And it's normal
And
now.
it's normal.
Oh, it's called TikTok.
So there was a prophet in the Old Testament called Balaam. See, Balaam had been hired, he's a prophet for hire. So he was hired by a man called Balak, who was the king of the Moabs or Moabites. And the job of this guy was to go curse the Israelites. So he was a very powerful prophet, obviously, that's why he was hired. So he goes there, he has the donkey experience, but he finally gets there. And 3 times he tries to curse the Israelites, and it doesn't work. 3 times, 7 bulls, some serious magic, nothing. So the 3rd time it doesn't and it doesn't work. And imagine 21 bulls, that was not cheap, even by today's standards. Think of slaughtering 21 bulls.
Yeah, no, I watched that auction.
There you go.
That would cost our government
It's
greatly.
not a joke, dude. They did 21 bulls. And so when he gets to the end of this thing, he tells the king, dude, not paying, but I've failed. I've tried everything. I've failed. But I have an idea. Now that's where you understand the power of demoralization. He says, I have an idea. We've failed to curse them. Let's use a strategy. Let's send immoral women into their camp. So that's where
Immoral
Moabite women. So basically prostitutes. Send them into the camp. And since their God has a law against adultery and fornication, that will be the door. We'll have opened the door. And for sure, at the end of that strategy, guess what happens? God ends up slaying 24,000 through a plague and through literal physical assault.
Because of the booty.
Yes. So you see, so it worked. So these, to my young girls and guys who are busy creating videos and spreading them on social media and on all these Telegram platforms and WhatsApp and whatever it is, that's a direct assault on the morality of individuals, because you watch those videos go to your soul. It's almost like bubblegum in your hair. They go to your soul and they stick there. And at most inappropriate times, those images come up. And for many young people, this is the thing I say. Let me now explain a bit about the harm. I'm going to do this on your show because your show has got huge numbers. So this is going to hit home. Many people don't know this. I don't justify it. Anybody who watches my shows knows I don't subscribe to masturbation. I'm big on the holy thing, be separate, be pure, I'm big on that message. But I want to go completely neuropsychological here. So we're going body. If you or me get into porn and porn and masturbation kind of go together. They're like kissing cousins. So you watch porn, then you release. You watch porn, you release.
Some watch for the scripts, apparently. I'm here to clean the pool. Swear one band makes all that music. Anyway. Here to clean the pool.
It's crazy, dude. There isn't even that to my movies anymore. Because in the 80s, they used to do movies. These days, it's just straight to business. Man.
Don't scream.
It starts. Turn them around.
Forget taking the morality out of it. Even the art now is
Oh
gone.
my God. Let's not waste time. Let's get down to business. So it's so vile. Now, the problem with that is that you, me, and this gentleman here, and okay, he looks young. So,
He's a virgin, actually.
oh, that's our virgin brother.
Yeah, that's our virgin, brother.
Keep up that spirit, my brother.
Wait, are you still a virgin? Okay.
No, it's good. Please.
We need
don't.
to check.
And don't-
And we should check it in month.
And listen to me. I'm about to explain why you shouldn't start.
Hey, there you go.
I'm giving you the breakdown. So
There you go. There you go.
This is scientifically backed, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not Bible.
The neuroscience behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, the thing is, when God created us, our first sexual experience, which is where you have the three hormones produced, I talked about them, dopamine, endorphins. Dopamine is that high. Endorphins are the good feel good thing. And then oxytocin is the bonding one. Now, these three hormones are supposed to be produced as a first sexual experience with a warm, living, breathing human being. Because when that happens, that's the first time the neural pathways are sort of like wired or fired in the brain. Wow. So you create a pathway, very powerful pathway, and then it creates a bond. That's why sex should not be with anyone other than the person you're betrothed to stay with for the rest of your life, because the bonds are so powerful. Now, in our day, this is what used to happen. I am not promoting, sex before marriage, but I'm just telling you my testimony back in the day. So in our day, we used to do it with real human beings. Yes, probably we fapped here and there. But the fapping was really imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we met real human beings. We had our first experience with real human beings. So we bonded to real human beings and we became attached and imprinted to real human beings. So that worked because later on you were able to continue being attracted sexually to a real, breathing, walking human being. Now, this new generation, the first shocker is that when you're a teenager, many people don't know this, when you're a teenager, your frontal lobe is not fully developed. So it's still developing. That's why teenagers are not very good at, delaying gratification. That's why they're not good. They're very impulsive. Even young adults are very impulsive. They want to go. That's why even in politics, you want people to go and die, just get young people because they don't think. That's why old men use young people. Check all the wars that are fought. They're fought by young people for old men. So it's because young people don't think about life. They are impulsive there. Now, in the sex space, here's what happens. Since that frontal lobe is still developing, a lot of stuff is still wiring new. So what happens? Instead of going to bond to a living, breathing human being, they go watch videos. Now, those images, my friend, are powerful. You cannot underplay the power of a moving video of someone in a graphic sex scene. It's scary, bro. So what happens? They watch that. It fires off some crazy mad wiring in the head. And then they combine it now with the sexual experience of self-pleasure. So that when they release, they bond. Now I get accused because I say, hey, soul ties. I won't use that word today. So let's leave the soul ties out. Let's even leave the part about bonding to spirit. No, let's just leave that. Let's talk physiology. Just biology.
The neuroscience behind it.
Correct. So they now connect to those videos. So here's what starts to happen. The problem with those videos is because they don't have the accompanying experience of a warm human being responding and a connection with a living, breathing person, but it's an image. So it creates a crazy, mad imprint that's tied to an image. And that becomes the first sexual experience. Now, the funny thing about dopamine, anybody will tell you this. When you're getting doped up, The first time you're doped up on a normal dose. But the more you go back to it, it doesn't have the same effect.
You're just chasing your first high
That's
every
it, bro.
time. Yeah.
So what ends up happening, you need to increase the dosage. Now, in porn, that increasing of the dosage is done by looking for more bizarre, more exciting stuff, because this initial stuff now isn't just cutting it anymore. So you're looking for more bizarre stuff, something that's going to really rock your bottle or whatever it is. And so you keep going deeper. Now, this is a teenager. So by the time they're hitting their 21, 22, 23, they are literally addicted and bound to images. So when they now get into a marriage, I've got inbox upon inbox of messages right now. Mm-hmm. When they get into the real relationship with a living, breathing human being, first and foremost, it is vastly different.
So you don't know how to clean a pool? What's going on? I saw this in the video.
And that's just even the stuff that goes on, you know. No,
Are you alone?
But dude, even the stuff that goes on is so unreal. Yeah. Women don't respond like that. People don't scream like that. People don't act like that. That's fake. But bottom line is, what am I saying? Be very wary of porn and masturbation. They go together. And they're very deadly. And what it's doing, it's messing people up. As for those who get married and then dare go into it, because I've heard people saying, no, but we watch it to help ourselves get aroused. Again, same issue. You mean you can't arouse each other? Like, really, is it that bad that you have to watch a video as a couple to get aroused? That's scary. That's bad. Because you should be able to arouse each other. I mean, your wife should be able to walk around with a string and there's nothing inside, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, we're ready. You know what I mean? But if your wife can walk around naked and nothing's happening and you need a video.
Yeah, I mean, she's on TikTok, so, you know. But no, I mean, I say that as a joke, but that also adds to what you're saying, Rev. Yeah. Because even for us, some of us who are still in the hunt for like a life partner like that, you know? So, and the fact is, you're probably going to find her with a TikTok account, and what attracts you to her is very important. Mm-hmm. Because
correct,
you'll be like, oh man, she looks fantastic. It's like to you and every other cat. Now, I'm not saying I need somebody who looks like the back end of a Kanta, okay? But, but certainly like at what neurons are being fired, just to use your analogy. Like what is she stimulating first, before anything?
That's even more scary. Do you see what you're saying?
Yeah.
What you're saying right there is that most people are in love with the person that doesn't exist.
Right.
Because there's no woman out there that looks like the fantasy you have. They don't exist.
Yeah.
So you got to make do with what you find. And that's why, for me, the danger of porn is they have sexualized, which has always been the case anyway with prostitution, but it's the sexualization of the female. And what's sadder, now let me say this I'm going to say. I'm even ready for the attacks. I've remembered something. This I got to say. What is sad is the women that go around half-dressed, skimpy outfits, body-hugging outfits, you get what you attract. One great man
100%.
said many years ago,
100%.
and I hold to that saying up to today. He said, if you're not marketing, don't advertise.
Yeah.
The problem is these women are marketing the wrong thing. They are marketing their body.
I like that.
Because they're the
I like
same ones
that.
that say...
Let me just write that down. I like that.
Because there's the same ones that say, men are trash, we can't find a good man. Your man can hold me down. And I'm like, yo, but hold up. You got exactly what you marketed
Because you marketed your sexuality.
The rest of us who are not in that market, we actually...
If you're not marketing, don't advertise.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like, congratulations, you marketed so well that the kind of guy you've got
attracted
is the
based
trash
on absolutely
that keeps coming back into your life.
Exactly. Then you're saying, no, men are dogs. But if you're walking around,
you marketing the dogs, okay?
You can always beep me off. But if you're walking around like a bitch,
you're gonna attract the dog.
Thank you.
And we call that empowerment, though. A lot of people will be like, no,
which is so.
But
sad
I'm liberated to
you know
dress
what that
like.
You know what it is? That is twisted immorality. That's what I talk about, the demoralization. Because you think that it's your body that will draw people. That you have to go around advertising your body. No, but you can be modest and still be very beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm gonna flip this to the fellas as well. Because if there's any title for this episode, subtitle, every gender can get it. Because you talked about gender, race, you know what I'm saying? And it's so good to have a man of God that you can discuss his real things with, because this is what we walk out into.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you being here. And on the guy side, it also applies.
Yeah.
Think about it, Kay, because if you're out there on social media, you're like, yo, this is my mansion. This is what I drive. This is me on holiday.
You
Again, blah, blah.
know what I mean?
Are you going to attract a real woman in your life?
No,
like,
no.
really?
I ain't saying
Yeah,
shit.
For real, you attract like a genuine
you can't.
woman.
You can't. You will attract.
You lied to yourself.
Digger.
You are lying to
The
yourself.
ones you talked about, the
Yeah,
SQs.
yeah.
That's what you're going to
That's
attract.
what you're gonna attract.
Because she wants
So
to
it goes both ways for both genders.
Absolutely.
You dress like that, you're going to attract a dog. You dress like that,
Rev,
you're going to attract a gold digger.
She-
Like,
As we end the episode, I'd love to bring it back home again as a rev. Talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I've got one question,
Yeah.
Just as we conclude. There's so much. I mean, basically most of the New Testament is about Jesus Christ, right?
That's right.
And there's so much about Jesus from the days before he's born, born in a manger, 3 wise men, blah, 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 blah. Then from the age of like 12, there's radio silence for almost 20 years.
18, actually.
18 years, from 18 to the time he's 30.
Yeah.
Then the last 6 months of his life,
national service.
you know,
No, actually.
the last 3 years of his life, yeah.
Was
no
national service though? Like, what was going on?
Yeah.
Where was he that 18
Good
years?
question. Good question.
Where was Jesus?
So there's 2 schools. But I'll start with the school I don't agree with and end with the school I agree with. So the one school is that he went to study the mystic studies of the Essenes and went to India and went to wherever.
I read that. He went to India, he went to China.
Rubbish.
Apparently, he had a wife in Japan.
Rubbish.
That's cool.
So there's that school. But
Yeah.
it's a big school. Then there's the other school, which for me is absolutely 100% on point. The other school is that Jesus first had to work with his earthly father, and then when the father died, had to be the man to run that home until his siblings were old enough to take over. So he was the responsible guy. That's why when he goes to Nazareth, everybody says, when did he become the Messiah? Isn't that Jesus, the brother of James and Jude, and they named the sisters, and wasn't he a carpenter? Was he, there was so much normalcy to Jesus that they knew him so well with his mother Mary and everything that they were shocked.
That does make sense.
When they say that, no, he's the Messiah. Like, since
That actually makes more sense than him disappearing into
To Europe,
into Asia, joining a K-pop band when he's
actually,
Japan, Korea, and then coming back. Like, they knew him because he was around the way.
he was around throughout.
Yeah.
And he
No
was
boy
only
band,
there
yeah.
until when James, his younger brother, first immediate brother, was old enough. So when James was old enough, then there was Jude and the sister and whoever. So when James was old enough, he literally handed over the care of his family to James so that he could go now and start ministry. So he was an example of what you do when you're taking care of your parents. And he still seemed to have control over the family, because when he's dying, he tells John, your mom. And the Bible tells us that from that day forth, Mary started to live in John's house. So John the disciple became the adopted son of Mary. But what's again interesting also is that the 2 brothers, James and Jude, seem to get saved and become serious after his resurrection. That's when they really believed. So even as family, they didn't really understand his ministry except his mom. So the others, when the mom, of course, had reference. I mean, the angel spoke to her. Remember?
Right.
Yeah, so she had
She's like, I've been trying to tell you guys.
she saw the testimony. Remember the prophets at the when she was going to take the baby.
Right,
Jesus
right, yes.
There were 2 prophets who prophesied, Anne and the old man, whatever. So she had that. But these others didn't have any reference. So they didn't understand their
So
brother.
you don't believe Jesus traveled much?
No. To go to India and learn from their sins, no.
Because a lot of people
Because
say
you know what? And I'll tell you why.
yeah.
Because Jesus was what they call the hypostatic union. So even though he was a human, 100%, he was also 100% God.
Yes.
So he still had that God thing in him. And that's why when he went as a 12-year-old, all the teachers were stunned with his knowledge. Where did he know his knowledge from?
Oh man, you know you have to invite me to another episode because I got like so many like
No, we should
theological.
let's do a religious one, because I don't know if you've followed my page of probably haven't. But on my page, I do a series called, but there's a series I run every day called Scripture Decoded.
Right.
And I ask really tough questions
Yes.
and people get pissed off.
Yes.
But I do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I want
No, I've noticed. You stir the pot.
Yeah, like one of them being your about the papas and how you're saying no man can claim to be a spiritual father.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it says so in the Bible.
So
Call
these
man,
papas that
call
we're calling my spiritual father,
Look,
that's a wrong notion.
Even I subscribe to spiritual father. But you see, what people need to understand is that subscription is based mainly on the concept of mentorship.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
Then the second concept is the concept of midwifery.
So are they mentoring those people that call
Thank
them
you.
papa?
That's a very good question. So question is this so-called person who's your spiritual father even mentoring you?
Yeah.
Because if they're in Nigeria, I don't know how the heck that happens.
Yeah.
Then secondly, are they midwifing you? Because there's what I call a destiny helper and a destiny midwife. I just did a post today. A destiny helper is somebody who goes in rooms where you're not and connects you.
Okay.
A destiny helper is somebody who puts you on new platforms, essentially. So they speak where you're not and they facilitate your move into these spaces.
Okay.
So it's like a networker, but on steroids, because it's not just networking directly with the person, but it's them now saying, hey, there's a guy called Chi, please get him on
Let
the
him
show,
in.
whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a destiny midwife. Sorry, destiny helper. Now, a midwife is somebody who says, Chi, I've seen your talent. You need to work on that. No, I don't believe it. Nah. Drag you by force. I take you to Toastmasters. You start doing that. I'm even sitting there watching you. So you see, just change that. And I'm on your case. And then whilst just do wiring, I take you to a radio station. Go do your voice there. I'm not sure. You know my voice is very. That's the voice they want. Then, before you even know it, I've thrown you in the place where they do the voiceovers.
And you're getting paid for it.
And then next thing you know, and then he calls you and then he's like, hey, come to do the podcast with Reverend Walters there because people have been wanting to see you on the podcast. I know a midwife when I see one. Don't tell me I didn't give you your flowers, midwife. No, for real, because that's what's been going on with this guy. But I'm like knocking the point home. Like it happens in real time.
For me, that's real midwifery. And for me, in a way, that's almost like spiritual father.
So I don't call him Papa, I call him midwife Kepler.
It's just a butted grill. So
What must have blue the scrubs?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you wear the pointy shoes as well, or you wear the Crocs like a real midwife?
Okay, let's get it.
We need to find out your outfit.
What's the concept? But that's a great concept. Think about it.
No, I love
It's
that.
a great
And I've seen it in real time, and that's what I'm talking about. My brother over here, he's done that. Several other people have done that at certain points in my life.
And myself as well. Myself, I've got people, even for my wife, I know people who've done that. And did you know that your greatest midwife is actually your spouse? That's why it's so sad when you marry a person that actually bashes you and puts you down and belittles you.
Wow.
Because that's the opposite of what a spouse should be.
Wow.
A spouse should be the one that's on your team. When no one else is cheering you, they're cheering you. When you're up at 3 look at what HH said the other day. Very touching. HH said, this woman. And then he did a nice thing on his wife. He said that one time he was working at 4 a.m. and the wife was shocked. And so she comes and she finds him working and she's like, what are you doing here? And then, he explains. And then she gets it. She gets the fact. You have to even take the call off.
He's got someone else to birth now. Midwives, they're busy like that. They're on call.
The beauty is that, imagine. So HH says, I'm so grateful because my wife was able to understand that I needed to work to create the life we're looking for.
Yeah.
And today, look at where we are.
Wow, how
and
precious.
She supported him throughout.
Just to understand.
She didn't used to go, hey, where are you?
Yeah.
You're not with us. You're not spending time.
Yeah.
But you see, he sacrificed and she was able to support him so that he was able to give them the life they have today.
No,
he's got a great life.
No, I often wonder, like, behind a lot of these great men, because I know that there is...
Yeah, there's a woman.
There's a woman.
Either a woman or a mistress, but yes, there's a woman. Or a mother.
Yeah.
It's usually one of the three.
And I want to hear from these women as well. Like, what does it take? And I wish this interview was done before their divorce, but I really wanted to hear from Melinda Gates.
Yeah.
Like what's going on before your guy was the richest guy on planet Earth? You know what I'm saying? I want to hear from Zuckerberg's spouse. I'd love to hear from these women.
Is that these were partners. It's just that sometimes when success comes, it comes at a price. And the question is, does the woman have the makeup
Yeah.
and capacity to deal with what comes?
Because even as a man on a path to success, I think on anybody on a path to success, it's not everybody you're gonna carry along, and because you're in so many different relationships,
The
and
door allows
friendship,
one in at a time.
It allows one in at a time, and who you walk in and what silo they fall into.
For me, and I love what you bring up. I mean, I think that's a really positive note to close on. For women, they have to understand that they are the Ezra,
The helper.
the helper, and that is literally the ultimate midwife.
But helper has been made to sound negative,
That's
and yet
why I use the Bible.
just now on this show,
Yeah.
I gave an example of like a good helper.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It can be your brother saying, you know what, go do this thing.
Absolutely.
It can be your wife saying, you know what, go knock on this door
But
or
do
whatever.
you know the one
like,
who's most powerful? It's the wife.
that's
why,
that's what's
or
up.
husband, because it's both ways. That's why, we need the mindset to understand success comes at a price. It's not easy. And when it comes, it changes dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why individuals have to be kind of ready for that as well.
Yeah.
One of the saddest things I see, but it's common, is where you marry at a certain level and then you all start to grow and then this one remains behind. So that's the wise man, especially men. If you're wise, carry this wife with you.
Right.
Don't leave her there, because what will happen, you get so high that you no longer can connect.
Yeah.
Conversations, everything, there's no connection anymore.
Yeah.
And then what happens is then shows up this other one here who connects with you now. So you're talking at this level and then your wife is down here. So you actually begin to be ashamed to carry her to cocktails because you don't know if she's going to even talk properly.
So that's not soup. It's them both washing their hands.
You know the story, right? In the prayer. So you know the story. That's right. And you know what happened to him, right? Dropping, because he just wasn't matching anymore. You know what I'm saying? Now he went for somebody in that class. But
Girl, it is what it is.
because you see again, so you want to make sure you carry these people. with you. And somebody was asking me, how about Rev if they are not carryable? Then because somebody did ask me that.
Okay.
Like, for real,
Okay.
But Rev, I hear you, but this one is not carryable.
Yeah, because I mean there are times, and I've seen some relationships where you're both. It's a very good example that you've given about you get there and your wife is there.
Yeah.
I've got a friend. I wish I could mention his name because he was sharing this. Well, I shouldn't even.
Yeah.
Should I share this story? Okay, it's something to the effect of what you just said.
Yeah.
Where they were both fresh from high school. They met, got married. One of those. Yeah. Then
School sweetheart type of stuff.
yeah, high school sweetheart type of things. They both failed to get into college, but somehow the families funded their wedding and whatever. They were so in love and whatever. Then somewhere in the mix, the guy starts excelling in life, businesses and whatever, and blah blah blah, and he starts having money. Then the wife is still
She's not moving mentally. To his level,
so it's not having conversations at that level.
But what?
So I've related so much to that because I already have a couple in mind where I've seen that happen
The
before.
only way is that the guy must be committed to the vision of the family. That's why I'm big on what I call the come to Jesus talks. That's what I call them with my wife.
So what he was telling me now is I wish I had waited a bit in life. Maybe I get to this point, then I start looking for a wife because now my wife is uneducated. She can't really speak. I can't even take anyone in public.
But do you know the other
you
problem there? We talk about it with my friend Stead. The other problem normally in that scenario also is meeting your soulmate.
After you're married. Ooh, dwell on that.
Does that really happen though?
Oh yes.
Does that really happen though? No, because like. Does that really happen? Because like I got so many of my female friends that are like, we are tired of this line. I wish I met you earlier line, like. And I clown with them about it as well, though. So, but does that really happen?
No, it does. So what you have to do, the way around that is to realize that love is not a feeling. And people really argue with me when I tell them that.
Okay.
Love, in the true sense of that word,
is
not a feeling. Love is a decision.
Right.
So, soulmate, so-called soulmate, is just someone that gets your heart to go boom. Like love at first sight, just gobsmacked, literally messed up. They're like, totally messed up. But that thing is chemicals. It's all endorphins and dopamine and all sorts of crap.
Scientifically, it's similar to eating large quantities of chocolate.
Thank you. Same thing. So the only way out is to decide not to eat the chocolate. So you have to have the mental fortitude to say, I will not go back to that person. I will cut them off from my life. I will not entertain them. Let me go back to the one I chose and I'm going to deal with this one. So you just choose to deal with that one. That's what that's what now you bring in the word agape. Because it's not love based on feelings or eros. No, it's not none of that. It's just I decide to love this person.
For me,
make that
I find that really sweet. Like I think at my core, I'm actually a diehard romantic. Honestly, I do have emotions.
And then on the exterior, he said at my core.
At the exterior, Lusaka's for business, bro.
I like that.
Lusaka's for business, bro.
But yeah, your thoughts.
And I think like the most, and this is why I loved, especially like movies from the 90s and literature from the 90s. I think the 90s treated relationships and romance and love like a mess.
Yeah.
Like a puzzle, right?
And then you fix it.
And for me, like the more messed up, this is not an argument for toxic relationships. But what I'm saying is if you are willing to fix my puzzle.
Remind me about the hero complex.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's one of the worst.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just finish your thoughts.
So if you're willing to like fix my puzzle, and as I said, this was like in a lot of 90s literature and whatever, and it's like, if you're willing to fix my puzzle, then that's like true love, So it's like the testing of the pudding
is the eating.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and when you stand like all those trials and whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's what love is. It's like when you've been through the fire, when you separated the wheat from the chaff. So I don't know. So because of that, it's like my vision on romance has always been not just I can do this, because I can follow that script. I'm like, okay, flowers here, blah, 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 blah. How many bottles of champagne you and your friends want? Okay, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, can we get through some real ish?
But you see, this is where now I talk about the hero thing. Because you remember that thing about the growing apart thing?
Yes.
Yeah. There's this one also. Don't you dare. This I'm now warning guys and ladies, because all of them fall into this.
Okay.
You find a broken brother or a broken sister. She's gone through some mess. Some of them, especially with the sisters, she's even pregnant. Guys run away, and then she's expecting, but you love this girl to bits. So you come in there. You're the Mr. Hero. You clean them up. You pick them out of the mud.
Be your Superman.
So you pick her out of the miry clay, wash her up, clean her, bring back all her self-esteem, and then put her through school, put her through whatever. And then now she starts to excel.
Right.
And then as she's excelling, she then realizes, and that's the common one.
I can do better.
Not just like
Not that one?
No. What happens, my brother, is they just say, I'm not in love with this guy.
Levels.
Nothing to do with levels. She's just not in love with you.
Like you were there.
You were
she
there.
needed you. She appreciated your assistance. But it was never love.
You were rescuing a puppy. And the puppy's grown.
Yeah.
And then now when she wakes up one day, she realizes, what in God's name am I with? I'm not in love with this guy. I've seen that repeat again and again. And so I always, and there's certain brothers and sisters who keep falling because the guy will treat her like trash, throw her to the curb, move on, get into a mess. She's moved on, and then he just comes back and wants to kind of feature again in her life.
Yeah.
And then because she's so gobsmacked, she never got over it, takes him back again.
Yeah.
Even the kids get upset now.
Yeah.
Mommy, you showed daddy what you did.
Yeah.
But they still go back again. And this is both sides, eh? It's not just the men or the women, it's both sides. I've seen this thing play.
Absolutely.
And it's very scary because the problem is it is the absolute abuse of love. So people have to have the fortitude, which unfortunately they don't, but they need to have the mental strength to cut. If you've been dumped or been mistreated and you're no longer featuring and you lost out, all of us have gone through that, and you go through the divorce, it's a cut. It's a clean cut. My wife always joked and said, and I agreed with her, she always said, why why are you keeping those numbers? Delete. Just delete them. Why are you keeping them? And why are you keeping the photos? Why are you, what are you keeping them for? Like you're gonna go back, or you want to be looking at them? Like you're gonna like go, and you know what? That argument makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So, but so many people, unfortunately, Chinyota, they come in, find a girl, damsel in distress, as we call it, and then they help that damsel. They get her back to normal until she's nice, and then she's taken. And that's a very common thing. I mean, just the other day, I was dealing with somebody that literally was on tubes. He sent me a message. He was on tubes, and he almost died because some babe disappointed him. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So you know what, my son,
True love.
my son, imagine he's 14 years old. But my son said this, Dad, say, who wants to kill themselves over a pie? Say.
Yeah,
Rip, so what does a man do?
That is the eloquence of Gen Z, if I've ever heard it.
My pie.
You want to frank over a pie, man?
You have to frank over.
Rip, so what does a man do when he meets his soulmate after marriage?
Nothing, my brother, is to cut off. The Bible says, if my eye causes me to sin, I'm like dead serious.
Go, why are you laughing? You know your wife is going to be watching this, eh?
No, but you know what I mean, Chinyota? I mean, like, what else?
Tell me, bro.
Are you going to go?
me, right?
You can't, dude.
It's too late, right?
It's like, what
John's closed.
Like, there's a term I used to use with a very dear friend of mine, that is the one that got away. Yeah, she got away.
The one that got away, yes. Catch every
Oh,
See,
fam.
being the Christian, being the pastor, the one that loves Jesus like I do, is to forget. It's a fantasy that you can't play with. You can't afford to get into. It's fraught with hell. Because you know the problem with it, and I'll tell you why.
True.
It looks attractive because it's what Tyler Perry in the movie Why Did I Get Married called the 20%.
You're going
it's the
leaving the 80 for the 20.
Yeah. And it's looking nice, and there's no attachments to it. This is a beautiful girl. I mean, man, this one. Yo, this one even has the camera setup that my wife doesn't have. Oh, this one. So, you know, you can get into that.
Yeah.
And then you can get to go and mess up your entire 80% on that. No, it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the girl that you were in love with at school and she never liked you and she just basically ditched you and treated you like crap because you were a nobody.
Oh, no, I dated her 20 years after.
But you have the luxury. You have the luxury. I don't. I don't have the luxury.
No, but I get it, yeah.
So then you meet her 20 years later and
And you're like, oh, you built this vision, right?
And she still looks, and she's moved in life. And then now she's admiring because now you're a celebrity. So, you know, like when you were at school, she didn't even look twice at you. Like, hello, hi. You know, but then now she's like, hey.
Hello. Your voice on radio, Chi.
You know, doing all that crap. And then now, like a fool.
Soulmates. This pie, I will die for. No, son. No.
For me, I'm
Don't
like,
die
no,
for pie,
no.
bro. Don't die
That's
for
the one that got away. Just accept she got away.
Yeah.
So kids just sticking another madam panobati.
And
I'll
these
still
are,
stick with the 80.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 80.
and these are,
Then it's a fantasy. To be honest, it's a fantasy. It's so far from reality because you break this to go for that, you will hate it afterwards. Just like, I was scammed. That's what basically happens to so many. I was scammed. I thought. Now that I'm here, it's hell.
If that happens, then the question should be, who is a soulmate?
No, a soulmate is a concept. It's an idea.
It's an idea.
It's a what's that word? It's a construct. It's a mental.
yeah.
Real.
Yeah.
Soulmate.
So it's in the moment that you're feeling all this compatibility. You feel all this.
So just what's that?
Soulmate is not
so
that
hormones. Yeah.
Soulmate is not that deep.
It's you know, the truth is that if you work on it, you can get your wife and husband to become a soulmate.
Yeah.
The problem is that we just don't work at it. You know, marriage is work. It's like a garden. You got to go there, tend it every day, get rid of the weeds and put in the water and what.
Right.
That's marriage. Marriage is not easy, guy. You know the fluffy feelings?
Yeah.
Those are gone in 90 days. Remember the first time you held your wife's hand?
Soulmate.
You felt like on top of the world, lightheaded. It was amazing. The first kiss, oh, I'll never forget it. Oh, those lips. You know, the first shag.
5 years later.
I got a headache. I got a headache. Bro, you be playing with them girls again. I just told you.
Okay, in the real marriage, let me tell you,
Right.
real marriage, you have to deal with the person when they're sick. So they're going to be really vulnerable times. You
Yeah,
see, like in the most vulnerable, like the worst state.
And then there'll be arguments that'll make you feel like you made the wrong choice.
You know what I mean? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, but we used
And then you're back to being happy again, and roses, and
my wife used to have makeup sex. It was great.
You see, that's the point, though. And that's the point. And
you know, sometimes you create fake fights just for the makeup sex. To be honest, it's amazing.
no, now you're only just getting kinky.
I even confess.
What happened to the pool boy, Brian? Now it's stinking.
I'll even confess on air
Yeah.
that I think one of my kids was conceived.
After an
After
argument.
an argument. Name Mavuto. Just checking. All you Mavutos, ask your parents. Maybe miss
My firstborn son, definitely.
Okay.
My firstborn son, because it was a rough time.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but that's I mean that brings me back to my point, right? When I was saying I think as I view the romantic part or love, as you said, it's work.
Yeah.
Right.
totally.
So work that is the growth.
Yeah.
And the beauty is in the growth, right?
For me, it's
Yeah.
if you can carry that frame. Because the problem normally, Chi, is that we come with the wrong frame. We come with this view that it's going to be just, roses, balloons, and and butterflies. No, there's going to be the ditch days, the mud days. There's going to be really crap. So if you come with the right frame, realizing that it's work,
Yeah.
then I think you've got a better
But you fixed so many things if we just listen to that. Like, personally speaking, because you fixed even your friend's situation, Kay. He's fixed even the situation where he's saying that the wife is on this level and I'm on this level. Did you grow together?
That's the thing.
Okay. You fixed my situation where I'm like, I messed up in a couple of relationships, but if you do come back, it should be after the growth. Like, as much as you must grow together, there must also be room for you to grow as individuals.
No, individuals is a must. But even as you're doing individuals, but have what I call what's the word?
But from even failed relationships, you need to
To
grow.
learn. Yeah, you need to learn.
Even if it's for the next person.
I agree. And you must heal totally.
You must heal. Yeah. So it's in growth.
Relationship.
Yeah.
A lot of people carry that baggage into their next relationship. That's why it
So what was that like for you, moving from
one marriage to the other? It
Yes.
wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I won't even lie. I always say this publicly all the time.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my wife, would be divorced right now.